Hello, pumpkins. It is Tarot Brunch. How are you today? I am having a fantastic day. To be honest, I don't want to be inside today because the weather is perfect. I would rather be out enjoying the weather and gardening, but I am here. I apologize for missing Tuesday. To be honest, I started watching a documentary on true crime. It was actually about a crime that was committed near me that I remember happening, and I mean, it was on YouTube, so I could have paused it, but I got so into it and then looked at the clock and it was 8:45 and oops, I missed my live stream. So I apologize for that. But yeah, it was super interesting. It was actually the casual criminal the casual criminalist with Simon Whistler. I've got a bit of a schoolgirl crush on him, and he was discussing I can't say this early in the stream, but very serious, and I don't want to make like cutesy words because it is really serious. But yeah, he talked about two teenage girls who were abducted and unfortunately did not survive the Ken and Barbie duo, as they're known in the media or were known. And so it was super interesting. I was really into it, and then yeah, because not that I was into it, but I was enthralled by it because I remember it happening in the early 90s. I was a teenager. I was 10, so not really a teenager yet, but close enough in age to these young women and close enough in proximity that their disappearance was a concern to me. So yeah, I remember it happening. I remember being told, like, all about stranger danger and whatnot when that was going on. Super serious. Anyway, I'm making some coffee. Got my French press, which is the only way I make coffee. All right. And the deck, I've got a butter pecan coffee creamer. It's so good. My favorite is the vanilla toffee caramel. I think it's called. It's in the purple container. So good. So good. All right, so I have 4 people in the chat, or did. Now I have 1. So hello. I'm going to choose a tarot deck today. Which one will I choose? I want to leave that one for the unboxing. Oh. I was almost about to say I have too many decks, but no such thing. Never too many decks. Hi, Emma. No, please talk more. You're actually the only one in chat right now, and I enjoy engaging with my viewers. So if I want you to talk less, I will tell you. And right now, I want you to talk more. I want to. This is a live stream. This is about engagement. This isn't about me dictating to you. This is supposed to be collaborative. So please, you are welcome here, and your input is welcome here. So hello. I am using the Victorian Romantic Art Tarot today. This was a gift from my friend Alyssa. Alyssa, if you're watching this, I want to get together. Oh my goodness. So I had this incident the past week. So yeah, I'm new to Toronto. I have friends in Toronto who pre-pandemic I considered close friends. And I moved to the area in October, officially moved downtown Toronto. Hey, Zina, in December, and have not got together with these friends yet. And, I get that life happens. I get that people are busy, but I'm like, come on, do I smell? Am I really that unpleasant to spend time with? Because I had social plans 7 of 9 days in the past week and a half. And every day there was some reason that somebody canceled. So either they forgot we had plans, or, one person had really bad allergies and they were concerned because I work in healthcare that it might be the beer bug. And yeah, so one person forgot and had other plans, and then one person, they were supposed to be in my area, and so we were going to go for ice cream, and then he had to reschedule because he had to go home for something and it wasn't in the area anymore. And like my knitting group, I was the only one that showed up because it was a beautiful day and everyone was outside. So yeah, that was my week, and I miss my friends, and Alyssa is one of my Toronto friends who I miss terribly. And hopefully we'll connect with again. I know, like, and she doesn't live far from me, and she actually is an old roommate of mine. Um, but yeah, I miss her, and I'm sure we'll get together. But yeah, she works and I work, and it's hard to get together. We'll make it work. Pardon me if I'm slurping a little. Yeah, I think that people got really used to being at home, and um, it's hard to like leave your house again and go see people. And with my situation, I really can't entertain in my house because as I mentioned, I'm a live-in caregiver for a couple, and the lady has some dementia issues. Crybaby pity party. I think I remember who you are. I don't want to say your name because I don't want to dox you if it's not you. But hi, um, Yasmin. Hello, E. I remember your name as being. Yeah. So I think, yeah, we've all just got used to being inside, and it's hard to go outside because we're comfy at home. But oh yeah, I was saying I can't really entertain because I yeah the gentleman of the couple is quite sharp and is really with it, but the lady of the couple has dementia, and she can get really easily confused when there's a lot going on. So we try to keep the environment really routine and calm. So we play the same music, and so to have like another person just arrive at the door and the doorknob is loud, and yeah, it's a little too much. So we try to keep these really calm. But I have a lot of downtime in my job, and I have weekends off. So when I work Monday to Friday, I start my day at about 8:30 in the morning, and I end my day about 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night. But there's several periods for like 3, 4 hours when I have nothing to do. Hi, Cheryl. And during that nothing to do time, like I can, as long as I stay in the neighborhood, I can meet friends for coffee. I can go for lunch. I can go shopping. I can go to I can't say the word because he's right here, the DOGPARK. But yeah, I have a lot of freedom. But yeah, if there's an emergency, like if there's a fall, I need to be close to come home. Um, so yeah, like I want to see people, but I can't have people over here. And there's also concerns about keeping them safe from the I don't even know if can we say COVID now. Oh, I just said it. They've had 5 vaccines. I've had 4. I'm getting my 5th next month. But yeah, like keeping germs out of the house, because my patients are my clients are in their 90s. They're really important. So yeah, I don't have people in the house. I had my daughter over at Christmas time, but that was pre-planned, and she's isolated, and she actually stayed on the 3rd floor with me so that she wasn't interacting downstairs and possibly spreading germs, because yeah, we really want to keep them safe. Okay, yes, card of the week. As I said, I've got the Victorian Romantic Art Tarot deck. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear, Yasmin. Are you feeling better now, or do you have the long COVID symptoms? I guess about half of people have long COVID symptoms, and this isn't something we're discussing a lot. Like, people talk about the mortality rate and how likely people are to survive it, but the long COVID and people having symptoms, and we don't know how long, because it's we're still learning about this virus. But yeah, like I have a friend who had it I think in the winter, and she still has no smell. She still has no sense of taste. And I mean, what's life if you can't taste your coffee in the morning? Like, food just has no taste, and she just kind of eats because she has to eat. And the lead singer of Tool, I think, he still has this lingering cough that is so bad that he basically has had to retire from singing. So the long COVID really does affect people. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Yasmin. Yeah, I've been fortunate that I haven't had it, or if I did have it, I haven't been symptomatic. I don't mask anymore. I've kind of, and I should, because of what I do for a living. But yeah, I don't have contact with a lot of people, and hand hygiene is the biggest thing. And I think That is a piece of the puzzle I wish people talked about more, was hand hygiene. And not just the alcohol sanitizer, like soap and water, washing your hands makes such a difference in infection control. But it's everything, right? It's all the little pieces. All right, so crybaby pity party. Did you want the first card? 5 of Pence lost 2 weeks. Still weighing the cost of a doctorate. We'll see what comes up. Doesn't the Hugh Dillon sing for that band? Quite possibly. I'm not sure of the singer's name. I just remember hearing that, and I think it's Tool. I'm not even sure, but that was it Godsmack? Ernie Sulla is the Erna Sully is the lead singer of Godsmack. But yeah, like, so there's more to the 5 of Pence. Actually, there's more to the 5 of Pence than just the cost of things. So I think if we get that a third time in a week, I am gonna, oh my goodness, I do shuffle, but there's more to it. I think when I pull your card, we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna look at the that card in context with this card. It's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to do cards of the day, because the card can mean so many things, and you need other cards in context. And when Merlin starts reading cards on my channel, I haven't really been working on training him, but I know how to train him on it now. When Merlin starts reading cards on my channel, well, Merlin's going to pick the card, I'm going to read it. But yeah, like, do I... Oh, the actor, Hugh Dillon, okay. Yeah, quite possibly. I know, like, people are saying 50% of people who have COVID have symptoms that linger, whether it's lack of taste, lack of smell, lingering cough, shortness of breath, tiredness. It's yeah, it's a weird virus. Yeah, I was saying something, wasn't? Yeah, so cards in context. So if I pull one card, I have Merlin pull one card. It could mean so many different things, and also like to give it as generalized, because if everybody's watching. Okay, no worries. Thank you, Emma. All right, so crybaby pity party, and if you can just if you're okay, if I call you E, I'm pretty sure that's who you are. Okay. 8 of Swords reversed. I like this. Oh, yeah, this is the camera. So 8 of Swords reversed. The 8 of Swords upright is about being trapped. The 8 of Swords reversed is about breaking free, getting unstuck. And sometimes this can be related to realizing that your situation is a self-made prison and that you can leave whenever you want. And it gets hard sometimes because we get comfortable and we get used to patterns and we get used to being in our own way of doing things. And then this is about breaking out. Now, if this is E and I did give you the private reading, it could be like that's totally what this is about, and breaking out of that cycle, which I think that would be awesome for you to see. And yeah, if you're ready for the next step, I'll send you the next part of that ritual, because yeah, that's when you do the real work. And I'm actually working on a similar one myself. So yes, breaking free out of old patterns. That's funny. Like I talk about things in metaphorical senses, but I got this card once upright for a lady, and she was asking me about her son, and I'm like, your son is trapped. He's stuck. He can't get free. And she said, well, he's in prison right now. And well, that is the literal sense of the card. So yeah, I think that you're you're gonna break free of being stuck, which is good. No worries, Yasmin. And even though you're the only mod in here, so you're on mod duty, technically, the chat's pretty small right now. So if you pop in and out, I understand what's going on. Okay, yeah, for sure. Let me know. No rush. You do things in your own time. Okay, Emma. Card of the week. I am really hoping that this is like not the Five of Pens again. We got the Eight of Swords as well, but this is upright, and you did see I shuffled. Hi, Lolly. Yeah, this is about being stuck and how to get unstuck. And I actually am going to pull a clarifier here for getting unstuck. And we got the Nine of Swords. Okay. So you are stuck because of stress and anxiety, stuck because of sleep issues, and getting out of that pattern is going to be about getting your anxiety and sleep issues under control. And for that, I recommend A, doctor, because I'm not a doctor and I'm giving advice about medical stuff, and B, meditation. And we can talk because we have a reading upcoming that it's actually on my list. So yeah, I'm going to show you my to-do list, which is done in this is my to-do list. And if you look at the yellow one, actually right under the ring light there, which is Emma's reading, the third one down on the in the orange. Yeah, so you're on my list. So as soon as you book that, we'll get that done. But yeah, that's going to be key to getting you unstuck. Now, I want to circle back to the Five of Pence. And sometimes that card is about poverty and is about lack of funds. It also can represent feelings of insecurity about money. So someone's like a wealthy billionaire, but who always has this imposter syndrome about being rich, or always has like this anxiety about not having enough, that could come up. It is a beautiful card. And what also shows up in the traditional Five of Swords in the Waite-Smith deck is a church in the background, which is about seeking charity. So if you're concerned about funding for your PhD and this is causing lots of stress and anxiety about money, it may be best for you to look into grants and bursaries and funding for scholarships and that kind of stuff, because I think that might be the key to getting out of this. Sleep medicine doctor and a therapist. Good. Yeah, I'm always like, it's no doctor is going to say no to meditation. There might be some doctors who don't believe in meditation, and they're like, well, if you want to sit there and meditate, then that's your business. But studies have shown that it is that there are innumerable benefits. So I'm comfortable recommending that, and I can give you some links and resources to sleep meditations. Oh, good. Okay. Well, then I'm we're on the right track then. Okay, and I have my bag of dog food in the shot. Which is probably not what you want to see. Okay, would anyone else be interested in a card of the week? You'd be amazed of how many grants there are for different things that don't get given out because no one applies for them. And even if one person applied for it and no one else did, that would go to the one person who applied, even if they don't meet the criteria. So apply for everything, even if you're not sure if you qualify. I know, like, when my daughter was applying for school, there were a few benefits that she could access. Like, her father was in the military, and so she was able to talk to the Military Family Resource Center. And I think that she had to be under 18, and she was in her 20s, and she actually took time off because of COVID. So, but yeah, so she didn't qualify for that. But my mother was a nurse, and so there may be funding because she was a registered nurse through the Registered Nurses Association. If you were baptized in a church, even if you don't practice anymore, there might be something. If you were in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, there might be something. So there's tons out there. Okay, so who was next? Yasmin, I think I may need you to keep a little list for these. Okay, so all right, Yasmin, are you okay? Going to the end? All right. So I'm going to ask Zuna first. So if you are in the chat for consecutive weeks, if you want to write down or remember what your card was, and then I can kind of give an ongoing reading and contact Zuna. So this one is yours. Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, so this lady, I'm hoping is not you. I don't think it's you. I think it's someone you have to deal with. The Queen of Cups, typically a woman, can be a man with more feminine qualities, is a drama llama. So you're dealing with someone who just survives in this state of drama. And I think that they are completely unaware that they are living in this state of complete drama. So, yeah, if that is you, please don't create drama and take a moment before you're confronting people. And when you're upset about something, am I trying to manipulate these people? Or what is my goal? Is it really worth this drama? Is it worth getting my blood pressure up? That kind of can put things in perspective. I don't think this is you, though. I think this is someone that you need to deal with who's got their drama. And okay, yeah, I didn't think that was you. So you kind of have to call them out when they start doing this. They're not going to like it, but and it's kind of hard to say, like, don't be a drama llama, but instead you can maybe say something like, I feel like you're trying to guilt me, or I feel like you're trying to intimidate me, or I feel like you're trying to manipulate me. And that kind of calls them out on that. And you can put things in perspective. I even think it's okay for you to say something like, if they're in person, you can say, like, I'm going to go take a 5-minute break and go to the washroom, and when I come back we can discuss this, but I don't think that this is worth this much drama, something like that, and that will smooth things over. But I think this is going to be somebody who you have to deal with, but yeah, sometimes you don't have a choice in the matter of who you deal with. Okay, and next was Sherelle. At least it's not Emma. 5 of Pence. It is reversed. I'm even using a different deck. So here's where I need to think about me as the reader. 3 weeks in a row, I'm pulling the same card. Why? So 5 of Pence reversed. This is kind of about getting out of poverty and developing a better sense of financial security and feeling okay with money, having more money come in, but not having it go right out. This is really a card about relief and relief in terms of, like, less stress about money. So I always like that. And yeah, Emma didn't get this. So I'm going to have to look at why I am picking this card 3 weeks in a row and my own issues with money. And yeah. So, and that's something that's important, because as tarot readers, everyone has bias, and the better you get, the less bias you have, but you're always going to have bias. I find that I attract clients, who are always going through the same thing I am. So if I'm going through a breakup, I attract clients going through a breakup. If I'm having financial issues, my clients are having financial issues. So it's kind of like looking at, not to say that I'm stressed out about attracting clients that I am. I love my little community, but that's interesting. And instead of saying, like, I don't want to attract this client anymore, of saying, like, my client and I are both going through this, we're all connected. And if that is happening, then let's lift us both out of that. Let's lift us both up. So there we go with that. Yasmin, hopefully your internet will last for this. the world economy affecting the collective. Yup. The numbers are weird right now. Like the both the Canadian and American government leaders, so President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau, are both saying that there's more jobs than ever before. But what I'm asking myself is what kind of jobs? Because yes, there are lots of part-time casual minimum wage jobs with no benefits, but with the cost of living being so high, people can't afford to take those jobs. If somebody's a single mom with 3 kids, and their rent just doubled because their landlord sent them a letter, then what do you do? Like, you can't afford to work 16 hours a week at Starbucks. So, yeah, whenever they say the job numbers, I'm always like, what kind of jobs? There was a politician, who was that? Oh, who was that? Who ran for the Ontario government, who said they were going to create 1 million jobs in Ontario in 1 year. And I'm like, yeah, but what kind of jobs? Like, because you can create 1 million jobs by not paying people very well. You can create a lot of jobs by taking all the full-time people and cutting their hours in half and making that 2 jobs. So that really concerns me when they talk about job numbers. What kind of jobs? What is the average, what is the mean income compared with the mean cost of living? Because if the cost of living is raising and the mean income is going down, then we're not doing better. So I think these are important questions to ask when we talk about the economy. All right, Yasmin, your card. If you need to go back and watch this, what are we at? I have a timer, don't I? We're 27 minutes in, so if you need to go back and rewatch it. Oh, there's my timer in the top corner. Yeah, prices are going up ridiculously, and corporate profits are going up. So it's just greed. Like, it's not, they don't have to cost. Some things do have to cost more. Like, I gave a reading at the beginning of the year, and we talked about like the price of flour because of the war in Ukraine. And I was like, yeah, everybody go buy flour, because when that cost goes up, that's something that people, and I said something wrong. And I thought about it afterwards, that people will go to war over the cost of bread. And what I meant was people will go to civil war over the cost of bread. And that is something that, like the revolution, the French Revolution, was over the cost of bread. And that's when Marie Antoinette said, let them eat cake. So yeah, cost of bread and the cost of pasta went up like insanely. And Italians were really, and I just heard this on the news, that yeah, Italians were really struggling, and not to be about stereotypes of cultural stereotypes, but in Italy they eat a lot of pasta, and the price had gone up so much that people who were not well off were having trouble affording the basics. But I think the prices have come back down, and that's a lot due to price of wheat. And Emma says they don't always differentiate between annual and seasonal jobs. Yeah, that's important to note too. So in Canada, we have a guest worker program, and that's often for seasonal people for crop picking. So, and that program has its faults and it's being taken advantage of. But instead of saying that illegal immigrants are just not allowed to come pick the crops because Canadian kids don't want to work that hard. I mean, if you could work at the ice cream shop for minimum wage, why would you go pick, strawberries in the field for a lot less, or even the same amount of money, and be hot and sweaty and gross? So they hire immigrants, and often they're from Mexico or Jamaica, or there's a few other countries that they come into Canada and they pick the crops. And I know in the US, with there being such an issue about border crossings, those people who would normally do those jobs that a lot of American and Canadian citizens don't want to do, then they rely on immigrants. So if they have to pay the higher wages to citizens, then that increases the cost of production. But yeah, those are seasonal jobs. especially in Canada, you can't pick strawberries in January. So yeah, that's really important to note. We talk about some serious things on the channel. And there's going to be more serious things coming on the channel. Like, yeah, I look at a channel that I like, and I know he had issues with his ex-wife, and I'm not getting into that. Steve Shives, he's mostly a Star Trek channel, but he also talks about politics a lot. And, you know, I'm mostly a tarot channel and mostly a magic channel, but I also want to talk about politics and things that happen in the world. And I wanted to make a video on what I thought about foreign interference in the Canadian election, which I don't think a lot of Americans are aware that there's strong suspicion that China interfered in the last two Canadian elections, and the Prime Minister is refusing to have an inquiry, and I feel really gaslit. $10 a gallon. Wow. Yeah. We measure our gas in liters in Canada, and our gas is not near as bad as it was. So right now it's about, I think it's about $1.50 a liter. I think I saw yesterday. What I've heard is if Americans paid the same price as Canadians did, there'd be riots in the streets. I have friends who live in border towns, and they will cross the border and get gas because it's that, like, can you imagine that going to a foreign country? But they're in border cities, so it's not like a big deal. But, you know, anything to declare, you can't really declare the gas in your tank. So funny story about this. I know. Yes, I will get into your card, I promise. Funny story about cross-border shopping. So I was a kid when we did this. And it's not something I would do now. I'm an ethical person. I'm a person of integrity. But so growing up, we lived about an hour from the Sarnia border, the Sarnia, Port Huron, Michigan border. And before school every year, we would wear our oldest, like, worn out, grossest shoes, our oldest clothes, but especially our shoes. We would wear like there are running shoes that were like worn out to the soles. And we'd go across the border because my sisters and I both have like huge feet, or all have huge feet. And we couldn't buy, until Walmart came to Canada, we couldn't buy shoes in Canada that fit us. So we'd go to the US with our crappiest shoes on. We'd buy new shoes at, the Walmart in America or Target or wherever. And then we'd take off our old shoes and leave them in the parking lot, and then wear our new shoes across the border. And the border guard never really noticed that we all had like shining white shoes on when we crossed the border. And I believe that President Trump had said something like Canadians smuggling shoes across the border. And I'm like, they found us! They found us out after all these years. So apparently we weren't the only family doing this. I was a kid. I've never done that as an adult. I don't think you can hold me responsible for not paying duty on running shoes when I was a kid. It was my dad's idea, and he's passed away, so you can't hold him accountable either. Yeah, okay. Yasmin's card. Oh, $1.42 a liter? Yeah, we're I think I saw $1.46 a liter, so we're about right on. Very similar, and gas goes up and down, so yeah, we're about the same. Six of Wands. So this card is from me to you personally right now. So the Six of Wands is often about being celebrated for doing something awesome, and I want to say that you're an awesome mod, and I really appreciate you. So there's that. I am celebrating you, and my chat is celebrating you. Oh, right, because you're pounds and we're dollars. So yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yes, so I am celebrating you as my mod. However, within your life, you are also going to be recognized and celebrated for the hard work that you do. I know that you work incredibly hard in your career, and that you do have some financial challenges and abilities that are different. And so I think that this is going to be recognized and you're going to do like, so this is either like in the form of a raise, um, official recognition, promotion, something like that. So yeah, this is awesome because you're awesome, and that's why you get this card. So there's some happiness. All right, and I also do private readings. If you would like to book a private reading for me, I have been awful at checking my business email lately, so I'm actually going to put a reminder on my phone to check it once a week because it's not happening. It's about time. You're getting a new manager finally next week. Perfect. Do what you can to make the new manager look good. So not only are you going to be recognized for being awesome, I think you need to recognize the new manager as being awesome. And there's a line that I always try to remember, especially like in working with seniors. It's kind of different because they don't remember what I said. And it's people don't remember what you say, they remember how you made them feel. So instead of showing off how awesome you are, make your boss look awesome and things that you can do to yeah. And I know that for one, the gentleman I work with, he's a very smart man, and there's times when he'll want to correct me on something, but I know I'm right, and so it's a hard thing because I don't want to like show off that I'm smart enough that I know what I'm talking about, but at the same point, he's in his 90s and he has wisdom that I don't, so I have to kind of like have to get him to look it up for himself and see that I'm right, and then praise him for finding it that it's right. So yeah. It's hard because we're often in the short term of like wanting to toot our own horn and wanting to make ourselves seem that we're good and powerful, and uh, humility is not a Celtic value. That's it's not a Celtic virtue. I point that out all the time. So it's I like to see people celebrate themselves and celebrate their accomplishments, but sometimes, especially like in the corporate world, um, playing the long game means making your boss look good, and in turn making the company look good because of your boss. So yeah, when I have job interview, I interview very well. And one of when they ask, do you have any questions? My question is always, imagine it's 1 year from now and you've had an excellent year, and that excellent year was because of the person that you hired. What happened during that year, and how would because I put myself in that role, so it kind of like makes them think that I'm already in that role. How would I have contributed to it being an excellent year? So I'm looking at, okay, what's the bottom line, and how do I increase the company bottom line? And when they think like, oh, this person cares about how the company does, then that's a good shoe in. So yeah, if you're interested in a private reading, I do private readings via Zoom. I am going to start doing in-person readings again. If you're in Toronto, there's a cafe that I'm going to be reading out of and working out of called oh gosh, I can't remember the cafe name. I think it's in Infinity Cafe. It's not Infinity. I'll get the name of it, but it's at Bloor Avenue, or not Bloor Avenue, Bloor and St. George. So yeah, if you're downtown Toronto, you want a reading, you can book that in person. Otherwise, you can book a Zoom meeting, www.carolineironwell.com. In the chat, I do readings as well on questions for super chats. So they are by donation. What else can I tell you? Yeah, things are good. So if you'd like to book a reading, you can do so through my website. Again, www.carolineironwell.com. Are there any other questions today? Okay, I hope that you all have a fantastic day and that you pray with a good fire. Bye-bye.